Hi everyone. Hi everyone. We will slowly starting our live, preparing for the live. I guess I like to start the live session a little bit early so people can find the the link. Have enough time to find the link. Hi, hi, Ju. Thank you for joining us. Still have 6 minutes to start. So as I said, I like to start the live a little bit early so people can find the link. Hello, Steffi. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Stephanie. Okay, is the voice better now? It takes a little bit of time. There's a delay. Hi, Steffi. How are you doing? Just testing, see if you can hear me well. Maybe I'll be louder as well. Jill, how do you think is my voice? Can you hear it well? Okay, thank you. I'm gonna try to put my earpiece, see if that improves. Hi, Stephanie. How is that? How does that sound now? Does that sound better? Hopefully the sound is better now. You can hear me clearly. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, we have 1 minute. We're going to start in 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, it's 15 past 6. So we're going to start. So as usual, we're going to start with a connection, with a prayer. And feel free to close your eyes or keep your eyes open. And we're going to make a connection. So we're going to make a connection to our guardian angels, to our mentors that can be with us, can protect us and can inspire us to have this more another talk on a Saturday, almost evening, and we're gonna elevate our thoughts to a mentor from our Australia that protect us and allow us to be here in this amazing nation. I wanna elevate our thoughts to all the mentors from all the countries that can protect us. For the mentor of the Spirit Center, Paul Esteban Spirit Center, thank you for your protection and all the spirits that actually protect our center, and then hopefully helping us make this connection wherever we are, that we can reach the hearts, my heart, your heart, and we can deliver this idea and learn from this study. And in the end, thanks our Master Jesus that can illuminate us with his love, falling through us with little petals that can bring us joy, can bring relief, and can bring courage and faith. Thank you. All right. Thank you. We are here for another talk from the Paul Esteban Spirit Center. My name is Tarso dos Santos, and I'm working for the Spirit Center. Erica, thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone that's here with us, bringing your hearts and your thumbs ups. It is more moments for us in Melbourne. There's more moments now with situations that we're going through, but we're here sticking together. That's what matters with the whole situation of COVID. But today, the topic for today is, it's a question actually. What are the real earthly fortunes? Again, the question is, what are the real earthly fortunes? And as usual, the topic will develop this topic based on ideas of Spiritism and the point of view of Spiritism, and our own views, our experiences. And you can share your experience as well, writing down here, if you will. I think we can, if you wish. And interesting why sometimes this fortune, this real earthly fortunes, from a spiritual point of view, they pass through our eyes and we don't even see them. If you review our experiences in this life and memories, we realize that these beautiful moments or real fortunes of our lives are never related to money alone, money itself. Although money is a need for us, can also be an instrument for creating beautiful things when deployed properly with intelligence and responsibility, with focus in the progress. Absolutely. But the money itself is not alone, it's not the real earthly fortune. From a spiritual point of view again, it's more about what we do with it, what makes it a earthly fortune. For example, when we carry this responsibility of possessing considerable material resources, maybe inherit this a fortune from family or had luck from a lottery point of view, it doesn't really matter. But it will become a real fortune if we use this benefit not to us, but for others, for the society, perhaps creating a great business or generating jobs or helping families in need and providing scholarship for those who can't pay, so on. So it's about the value of the money and what we do with it, logically. For that, though, requires, and that's the main topic of that was extract this idea from the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 16, is being detached of material things. Don't be attached like a precious things that it stop us to live a real life. Though requires us to be detached from the things, from the thing, from the money thing, and be attached for its purpose. So there's a quote from the Gospel I'm going to read, which actually depicts exactly the idea. Being truly detached from worldly goods means appreciating them accordingly to their real value, knowing how to use them for the benefit of others and not just yourself. That's in this chapter. And I think that's exactly the point. And when we dive into it, we understand that we take nothing from this material world, not even our body, and not clothing, not money. So accumulating money as a precious untouchable treasure, like Scrooge, a miser, or being stingy, it only makes feel at the end of emptiness. We feel a lack of purpose, and applying the money properly, it feels like a purpose. It will make us happy. So we remember the figure from Walt Disney, Scrooge the McDuck, where he used to keep all the money with piles and piles of coins of gold and coins of money. So, well, in summary, the real earthly things are those fortunes that enlighten us as souls, as human beings, fortifying our virtues. They can be just beautiful moments. They can be new friendships that we make and that comes through our lives, so which are very important. Or then difficulties in life, and how can we say difficulties in life can be fortunes, earthly fortunes, but those that enlighten us and push us to overcome and then become a better person and then push us to do amazing things, these difficulties, whatever they are, we can overcome them. So these fortunes, we actually carry with us, these ones, not the money, but these ones, these earthly fortunes, the moments, the friendships, the virtues that we do, what we learn, that we develop, we carry them beyond this life. I'm sure if we were together and you could share some amazing stories with me and beautiful moments of these earthly fortunes. And feel free to write something. So I'm going to put some examples and start with one of mine. So just a simple thing. It doesn't have to be anything special. I was in the kitchen with my family and I was having this little tiny dessert. And my toddler, 3 years old, she next to me and she had a big smile and I thought, I looked at my dessert, it was very, very tiny. and she wanted to say, I said, "Do you want the scoop?" And she said, and she gestured, so I gave to her, and she gave me a big smile of chocolate. Um, and then I was talking to my brother-in-law, and in that moment we said, "Wow, what if this is actually amazing, because this is actually a earthly treasure, earthly fortune moment, because what if I didn't have that person to share with that dessert, right? Like having my toddler, my daughter, it's a fortune for me. It's a earthly fortune, and having shared someone and having that chocolate smile. Maybe we take another example. I think knowledge is the real fortune. It's the real earthly fortune. But it's again the knowledge, and same as money, knowledge for yourself only, it doesn't bring that many benefits. It has, you can evolve, yes, for yourself, but you gotta use this knowledge for something. This knowledge is crucial, and when you're sharing this with moments of someone, with crucial moments of their lives, it's important. And I think I want to highlight one knowledge, which is knowledge about reincarnation, and the knowledge about where we come from, where we're going. That Spiritism let us understand, and help us to understand with all the works that Spiritism has brought to us. And this knowledge of sharing with some people through hard moments. And I had a lot of experiences of sharing this with people, having maybe days and weeks and months with people before they pass away. And sharing that knowledge, that idea that there's no end, that the death is actually not the end of the tunnel. There is something else. There is hope. It's horrible to have this idea, and it's very consoling and comforting to understand this, that it's not the end of the tunnel. Death is just a passage to the other side, and life continues on. There's a beautiful thing on the other side. There's a beautiful world. You're going to be the same on the other side, without this body, and you can continue your life. And that's comforting, that's amazing, and changing that mentality and giving some hope for this horrible situation. Understand this, the end of the life, of your life, end of everything. It brings us faith that everything's going to be all right. So maybe now we should touch another one, which is the most important treasure in life, which is real love, right? But that's the love, and how do we know about it? Well, honestly, it's actually the love that Jesus taught us, showed us. I'm myself haven't been really able to practice all that love, understand and grasp what everything that's capable of that love. We try, we're all learning, we all are. But it's not this general loving about the way we do. I like you, you like me. We do things for you and expecting something back. Temporary relationships is more than that. It transcends that. We talk about unconditional love, where no words are required. For example, is one example to express this love, right? Sometimes we don't need to do anything. We just need to feel. We just need to send a nice thought, or act, or help someone without expectations of anything. So that's the real unconditional love. And maybe we can give an example, because for us to abstract this, sometimes we're incapable, but mother's love, right? So unconditional love of a mother is this beautiful, real love. If you get one of the highest example of Mother Teresa, Mother Teresa, she was a mother of the poor, she was a mother of the leper, she was mother of the outcasted. So she was the one, not many wanted to look after them. So in 1979, Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize for work undertaken in the struggle to overcome poverty and distress, which also constitutes a threat to peace. So she's being recognized in the world. But one day she was being interviewed, and this reporter asked her, Mother Teresa, he said, what do you say to God in your prayers? She replied, nothing, I just listen. Okay. And then he asks, what does he say to you then? And she replies, nothing, he just listens. It may sound a bit crazy talk. It's interesting because, but we know she was capable of loving, as we discussed, this unconditional love, because it was unconditional what she's done for everyone around her, and as described by the Nobel Prize. She loved God, and we talk about this love that don't even have to say any words. And that's what she was showing to us, that you just need to act, you just need to feel. And she had that love towards everyone around her, and God as well. So that's what she meant by saying, I just listen and I just feel. Maybe one day we can learn with her. So the love of a mother is a type of unconditional love, right? There are no words of intelligence that can substitute this love to help to console someone, whether it's in normal lives, but talking about spiritism as well, including in our mediumship meetings. It should be no surprise to anyone that Spiritism started with Kardec. He wrote the Gospel according to Spiritism. And since then, Spiritism practices the communication with spirits, and that's the way the Spirits book came about, by communications through mediums, and Kardec codifying and writing, managing to publish the book. But also more than that, it has been more than 150 years of Spiritism, and we studying and using these communications to gain knowledge, to communicate to the higher beloved spirits, to learn, but also to help and rescue spirits that are on the other side, that are still suffering. And with the help of beloved and with all the love of the acts that Jesus taught us, to help them pass through this situation and go through their journey. And the interesting is, experiencing these meetings, we had so many cases, so many examples where we are trying to apply the knowledge, the love that Jesus teaches. And through mediums, trying to help the spirits on the other side. But the unconditional love of a mother comes to rescue everything. Through communications, this loving message comes through and warms the heart of everyone present and saves the moment. To everyone that's suffering, the ones in the mediums, as well as any spirit that's present. So that's the focus and the meaning of the spirits mediumships, is to help, and because it allows us, and it allows us to exercise this love. And mediumship is a real earthly fortune, because it allows us to exercise these virtues, put in practice. We can do that outside, doesn't need to be with mediumship on our day, every day, but there as well. But also redeems our own wrongdoings that we had from our past. I think we realize that these are opportunities that pass through us and gives a chance to collect these treasures, right? These real life treasures of loving experience and helping someone. And this develops our virtues. Well, extend a bit on the analysis of the material thing. It's a really blessing thing, as we discussed, when well used. But we got to be careful, because not everyone is the same. Not everyone is able to detach things, and really work with money as it should, even in our real our lives, a little bit of money, our resources as well. Just have to watch out, be careful about with our weaknesses in relation to the material processes. Because we can start giving all sorts of excuse to not helping others. Oh, I live for another day. And then time passed and we end up doing nothing because we just keep going with our routines. You're not stopping and doing a little, get out of our routines to help someone, or even watch, observe what people around us are in need. The gospel shows an example as well that families where people really, some people really, they collect money and with the excuse that to supply everything, the resource for the family, and keeping that money, but we know if you give a little bit, it won't make any difficulties for the family, but we just use that as excuse. So because in the end, in the bottom end, it's about being the lack of faith and being afraid of the resources to be a lack of resources and be in fault for another day or on the next day, and it becomes that uncontrolled greed that we may encounter, have that difficulty to deal with. But the gospel tells us that everything comes from God and goes back to God. So not from a beard man point of view, God as the most powerful force in the universe that keeps everything balanced and with the love of the harmony of love. Everything is loaned to us and we are not the owners. So we need to use wisely all these things that are given to us. So what gets in the way is the lack of faith and lack of understanding everything will be all right, and we can help others without any disfavor to us, because everything we give, it comes back as double for us. And even then, considering these times of so many people having difficulties, it's even more important that we get out of our way and help in any way as possible. We need to understand the sources that God gives us are infinite and are large. And looking at books from Umberto Holden, a philosopher, not a spiritist, it's got a beautiful example where even when you look in water, if someone asks you where the water comes from, to put it as an example, if you look at the water, ask you when the water comes from, and you say it comes from the tap. But the water doesn't come from the tap, it comes from the fountain of the nature resources. And we apply this lack of understanding where these resources come from in everything in our lives. And why is that important? Is because the fountain, the resources for the fountain are infinite. The tap, the system that brings the water, is breakable. It's man constructed. It's constructed by man. That resource, if we look after properly of the nature of Earth, it's infinite. So it's about managing. When it breaks, we swear and then we blame the water. But it's actually the problem is what we build around it to give us around this resource. So we need to manage them. And that's the view that we need, that have faith that the resources that God gives are infinite. And all these resources is through life. And life is the most beautiful treasure for us. But perhaps we don't see this. We are too busy in our routines, ignoring what about the real things that are important for us. Not that we need to discard money or anything that's happening around us. These are needs that we need, and work and so on. We just need to balance, as usual, create that balance in our life and observe more of people around us, our families and everyone of friends that are around us. So it's again getting that empathy of people around us. So, and people around us, because one of the biggest treasures that we have as well are friendship. They are the treasures that we collect in our life. And not that friend that you meet at parties, drink with you, have barbecues, are those unconditional friends that doesn't matter if you're rich, you're poor, if you're bad, good, if you're right or wrong, so they are there for supporting you. And we don't pay much attention for the real friends in our day-by-day life, I think. It can be anyone. It can be your neighbor, it can be your daughter, it can be your parents. We acquire these friendships and that persist through our lives. And through all these lives as well. There's an interesting story that I picked up here. I can't remember where I got that from. I mentioned that before, but actually fits perfectly to that point. There was a man called Charles. He was in a milk bar. It's a story that gives an example of friendships that survives this life. They go through other lives as well, and through the spiritual world too. Talking about spirits. This man called Charles, he was in a milk bar, and this other man was going to take some milk and not pay. He was being cheeky. So, but for a reason, he was in desperation. The owner was going to catch him. The owner saw it. And when Charles saw what was going on, he reached out to the owner and says, "Hey, he's with me. I'll pay for him." The owner actually didn't like much, but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't say anything. So they left outside. He explained, said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "George, I lost my job, and I really need to bring money, milk, to my family. So I got desperate. I know it's wrong, but." And then they start talking, and then he discovered he had lots of job experiences. So they become friends. And actually, Charles helped the man, his name was George, to find a job. Many years passed, and they lost touch, and they hadn't seen for a while. And when Charles, he was going for business, he was going to travel. The man who helped George, Charles, he was traveling for business. He doesn't catch a plane. So suddenly he was late. He was trying to get to the airplane, and George crossed his path and gave him a big hug from nowhere. And he couldn't free himself, so he ended up losing the flight. So he, for 1-2 minutes, that hug, and George was quite big, so he held him, and then he released him, and then Charles ran, didn't say anything. "I need to go," and then said goodbye to him. "Don't do that." And then he ran to the gate, but he lost the flight, so he missed the flight, so he couldn't get the flight. So arriving at home, he couldn't see George anymore. So arriving at home, he got to his wife, and he says, "Oh, you don't believe what just happened. I lost the flight because George stopped me." And TV was on, and they realized that the plane that he was meant to be on just had crashed. And basically, George actually had saved his life. So he immediately went to see him. Arriving at George's door, he knocked, and his wife opened the door, and he asked where was George, and he talked to him, and she said, "Oh, you didn't know he actually passed away 2 months ago." And he could not believe what was really happened. So was that a dream? Maybe was that a dream that he actually came and stopped him in the spiritual world and made him to freeze, or was he really there from a spiritual materialization point of view, which is a topic for a different times, where it helped him to stop? But we don't need to answer that question now. But what's really important for this story is that friendships can transcend this world and can go through different lives. Thinking about reincarnation, for example, we carry our friends. So creating friendships, having an act and putting together our actions to enrich our friendships are things that are real treasure for us in this world. And we need to understand that we are not alone, considering that we have so many friends on the other side that and we don't realize they are most of the time, but they are working in our favor. They're there to help us in whatever we need. They are worried about us, that we are in need, if we lost a job, if we need certain kind of resources. They are worried about that as well. So, but they are always working towards the needs that those needs that we need, right? So it's strange, the needs that we need. But so the message is the earthly things are those things that enrich us, as a conclusion, and we can't lose faith, and we keep focusing on the good things that bring the double back to us, double value back to us. Well, that's what I had for this topic. Hopefully it was helpful and brought some new ideas and any topics. If you want to know about anything that has been mentioned about spiritism specifically, just reach out, and we can enlighten, we can study a little bit more together. So okay, so I'll end here, and I'll do our final thoughts and final prayer to conclude this topic. So I'm gonna thank our guardian angels and mentor from Paul Stevens Spirit Center to help us to understand this topic, to really enlighten, help myself, help us to really understand this love that Jesus is tried to taught us in the past, tried to teach us in the past. But we want to send this love to those that I need. We know a lot of people, they are passing difficulties at the moment, going through difficulties at the moment, and we want to send these vibrations that bring them faith. And if we can connect to our mentors, we're going to find a way to fix all the problems that we have at the moment we're going through. Let's vibrate and really have this desire that this beautiful energy can go through our home, through us, bringing peace, bringing harmony to our homes, and for all those countries in the world, that we can bring peace and we can defeat all the health issues that we're going through at the moment. Amen. Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us, guys. Jill, Ellen, Maria Antonia, Steph. These are the names I think I can see. Carol, I think I saw her there as well. Thank you, and have a great evening. Bye-bye. And Jane, thank you. Juliana, thank you. Steph, thank you. I'll send a hug to BFF Alexia, best friend. I will do, I promise.